Hi, everyone. It is Monday. It's my favorite day. Why? It is Mothers of Multifamily. So my next guest, I had actually the pleasure of meeting her through a friend of ours, Edna Keep. Amanda Bolan is a fantastic mother, and I'm so happy to have her on. Welcome, Amanda.
Thank you. Hi, it's so great to be on here with you.
Thank you so much for coming. So Amanda is a wife, mother to 3 busy littles, and a real estate investor, being active previously on flips. And she's underway on a small development. She has narrowed in her focus to multifamily properties for long-term wealth creation. Being an action taker and not giving into opposition is what led to closing on a 12-unit apartment deal as their first rental property. And with having a young family, the kids are often included on the real estate side, but she makes plenty of time to enjoy downtime as a family. So, welcome, Amanda. I have one question for you. It's the same question I ask every single mama. How do you do it? How do you have 3 kids, a husband, all the things that you do, and get into large multifamily, get into real estate, do all the things that you do on a regular basis? How do you do it?
You know, I think most moms would stop and would go like, we actually don't, we just do.
Yes, thank you.
It's breaking it down simply. So I don't feel like it's a superpower, but at the same time, it's just we're including our family as a part of the process. So the big thing that's come down to for us has been just making a decision to do it and just figuring it out and fighting our way through it as a family. And that's been our big thing, is just choosing to do it and making action, or taking action, I should say, on the things that we've decided to do.
Thank you. Thank you for that. I'm huge on choice. You choose to do every single thing that you do. So what made you take the decision? What made you take this big step into real estate?
You know, real estate has always interested us, the both of us. I say us because my husband and I are a team 100% of the time. And so we make decisions in our business life together, just in the same way we do it in our family life. And that's core to us. And so making the big jump into real estate, we've always been interested. I would say from our very first property, we looked at it as an upsizing, but we didn't consider it necessarily, like, we figured we'd continually do that with our first house, in the sense of like renovating, turning it kind of thing. And then it kind of came down to like turning it into a business. We're heavy into oil and gas. And so with our other business, and there was a downturn, and the reality was like we had a company skip out on us. And so it was basically, we need to do something. What can we do? Well, we understand real estate in the sense of flipping and rehabbing. Let's go hard after that. And so that's actually what we did. Was it was kind of out of a place of necessity, where we just said, you know what, we're not going to sit here and complain about what should be. Like, I made a joke that my husband had volunteered for however many months on whatever project, right? And not seriously, but that's the way it turned out when they skipped town, right? So, but anyway, so we pursued flipping, and, you know, we did well. But the big thing with flipping that we found was that it's very much, you're only as good as your last flip, and it's not an ongoing wealth generation. And so while it's fun and I enjoy the design side, and that brings a lot out of me, and I enjoy seeing the process start to finish, our minds kind of went back to where we talked about years back. One day we would love to own an apartment. One day we'd like to do it. But it seemed like some grand thing that we needed to keep working our way up to and eventually get to. And so I was at a gathering that I made an intention to go to, and there was several investors at it. And so I don't know if they're more, I guess there's a few different ones, but Britt Arneson, Investor Girl Britt, I don't know if you're familiar with her on Instagram. She's fairly huge with the BRRRR strategy, and that's her thing. So I went to a gathering at one of her housewarming parties, and there were several investors there from Epic Alliance here in Saskatoon, to others. And I was talking with them, and they said, you know, the thing you keep talking about, you need to talk to our friend Edna. And yeah, so that's how I got.
I'm doing a little Edna dance.
Seriously, hey, it's so crazy. So it was literally the one thing that we were just like, we had people interested in coming alongside of us, and we just didn't know what to do with that. And so then I reached out to Edna and just said, hey, tell me what you're about. What do you got going on? And we just made a decision almost instantly, I would say, that we were just going to do it. And this was going to be our bridge to learning. And so that really went from going, one day we'll do multifamily, to we are doing multifamily this year. And so by the end of that year, we had one under contract right away, and through the due diligence process that fell apart. But by the end of the year, we were under contract on the deal that we just closed. And so that has just been a thing of action. So I guess us going into real estate, and we've continually decided. So this year, same thing, we're moving my husband from his line of work and moving into more exclusively real estate. So last year was our biggest chunk was real estate. And moving forward, that's going to be the way it continues.
Boom! Talk about action. Oh my goodness. And I love it. You went from wanting to do this, thinking about doing it, and actually taking the steps to find the person that was going to take you to the next level. So let's talk about mentorship a little bit. How did Edna, your mentor, take you from, okay, we're doing flips, we're really getting into real estate, or we're thinking about this thing called multifamily, but it just seems so big, so complex. You know what? Let's just keep on pushing it to the side. And then it never gets done. So how did she take you from a dream to reality? Because you just closed on your 12 unit, right?
Mm-hmm, we did.
Congratulations.
Official.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. The big thing I would say, so Kirk and I, my husband,
Mm-hmm.
we had never done mentorship before, in the sense of paying somebody to do that. And we weren't necessarily opposed.
Mm-hmm.
It was just, we hadn't considered it really. And we didn't really know, we needed something specific to us eventually. And so when the idea of it came, it was kind of like, well, I don't know, it seems kind of bizarre, but if she's willing to teach us, let's do it. And so the process of it, I think there was a lot of, her course and what's taught within it, a little bit of that, a lot actually, because it teaches the fundamentals. But the big thing that I found was the weekly get-togethers, and it's being around people on the same trajectory. And the connections that we made within the group. So with Edna, speaking with her and bouncing off ideas and just the excitement, but also others in the group closing on their deals or pursuing deals. So it's like everybody was headed in the same direction. And that was huge in the sense of now being around people who didn't see this as a foreign thing. It was normal and everyday. So it sounds so simple, but it's really about like who you surround. Like they didn't do the work for us, but we were around a group of people that made it seem normal, if that makes sense.
No, that makes complete sense, because I hear this story time and time again, that leap from I can't to I can. And sometimes it just takes a personal decision. Sometimes it takes somebody guiding you along, but also being around those people who have that same mindset, have that mindset of, I can do this and I will do this and I am doing this. And look, I did it and you can too. It's the difference between the I can'ts of the world and the I cans. So tell me more about this deal. How did you find it? Let's dive into it a little bit. I'd love to hear about your first deal experience.
I guess this one came from like an online listing, kind of like Craigslist with Kijiji in Canada. And I'm on it constantly. I'm analyzing deals. Like I think I was around 50 deals analyzed last year. It wasn't like I just, the odd one and then, So when I saw this deal, I reached out. There was really no details. Just I have a building. I knew the neighborhood. I was like, oh, this is a great neighborhood. Kind of, a little bit, we would be interested in this. Let's find out the details. So there wasn't a whole lot of details. I sent an email back to the person. Didn't hear anything back. And so I later found out, and this is kind of jumping ahead a bit, but the gentleman who I'd emailed saw my email, and when I replied, it scrambled my email for privacy purposes, but he was an older gentleman. And so he thought I was a scammer or a spam contact from his post. So he decided he wasn't going to respond to me because it just seemed like this Amanda, as he put it, from somewhere in the world that I have no idea who she is, reached out to me, but there was no other way to reach out other than replying, right? So he went out to have coffee, tell his friend all about this person who's probably not serious, not going to think too much of it, but we'll sell eventually here. And so about 4:00 that afternoon, he said he got this feeling that he needed to go back to his computer and email this Amanda, right? And see what she's about. And does it hurt? And so he responded to me with a phone number, and the rest kind of went from there, where, you know, I got the details and the numbers, and it kind of just spiraled. And that's the big thing, is once I had the numbers, I knew instantly from the amount of deals that I'd already analyzed, this is a good, like, this is a solid potential here. And so we just chased after it quickly. And so we probably moved a little quicker than we usually would, in the sense of like, you know, to get it under offer. But at the same time, I was like, this is going to go fast. And I knew others who were looking too. So I knew they were all reaching out too, potentially. So I'm like, I need to get this under contract. So within a few days, I got some numbers, told them kind of where we're at, where we're going to approach this from. And we put in a written offer almost instantly. So it was off market. It was direct to seller. And then the deal kind of developed from there. So it was a solid deal from the hop, just as a basic. You're just going to buy it 25% down, you know, basic finance rate, nothing too crazy. And it progressively got better from there.
That is a fantastic story. It sounds like a great deal. Oh my goodness, I'm so thrilled for you. Your first one, and you're diving in. So congratulations on your first large multi.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Of course. So let's talk about, because in your bio, you talk about overcoming adversity and not giving into opposition. Let's talk about that. Like, as mamas, as entrepreneurs, how do you overcome opposition? And you kind of mentioned something at the very beginning about your former sort of life. How did that color your life now?
I guess that's one thing that, you know, we all have, we have choices. And throughout my life, I've always, you know, I didn't always have the perfect everything in my life. But I had a good life, in the sense of, and I always knew deep down that regardless of what comes at me, and even as a teenager, I had a good understanding of this, it's my choice how I respond. And so it's not that I always get it right, and I always have this great attitude, and I always do, but for the most part, we try to take action and not just take the things that come at us that aren't fair. When this company skipped out on paying us with the business we were mentioning here, you know, it felt like they did this to us. Like, we did this, we offered this service, we haven't been compensated, they did this to us. And so it'd be very easy to sit back and wallow, but what we realize, you know, we're talking about is, like, if we sit back and do nothing, we go in a worse position. And if we get and figure this out and kind of turn things around quickly, you know, we have options. And so thankfully, and I guess it has just been a big thing, is we've realized the upside from taking those moments that were, you know, thrown at us, and different stuff, whether it's economics or, you know, in our family life, like, you know, as a young family and stuff, you have relational issues and stuff like that kind of bubble up over at times. And so the cool thing about it, though, that I've seen through these last few years, my husband and I too, is like, not only have, you know, our business is steadily improving, but our relationship is improving as both of us pursue more. And so, and that goes towards our family too. We took some time last year, my husband and I, we went away for the first time in years without the kids. And we went down to California together for a week. And it felt foreign to, like, leave our little ones. Like, our kids right now are now 4, 6, and 8. So
wow.
You know, back it up a year, and they were quite a bit younger, right? 1 year at this age is a big difference. But taking that time to recharge us, and then also that brings value to our children too, in the sense of keeping our families strong, which is super important to us. So the whole thing of overcoming adversity, we just see so many positive things come out of making a decision to not just sit back and let life happen.
No, that makes complete sense. You basically, and I'm writing little notes down about what you're saying, but you basically turned your opposition into opportunity. Because imagine if that person had paid, would you had taken all the steps that you had taken? So you took what could have been like the worst moment in your entire life and everything explodes to opportunity. You created opportunity. And what you said about going away with your husband and filling not only your personal tank, but both your tanks as a couple, that's huge. Couples need to do that, I think, more often. But, you know, the parent guilt, the mom guilt gets to you, and you're like, but what about my kids? Your kids will survive without you for a weekend. Get out there, love on each other, and come back refreshed and ready to not only serve each other, but to serve your kids. So your story is fantastic. Fantastic. Thank you so much for coming on, Amanda. So for my mamas out there, what last bit of information or advice can you give to the mamas out there who are either facing opposition or trying to get into large multifamily, but are still in team can't? What can you give to them to take them on their next step?
I would say mindset, 100% mindset. And that's so easy to say when you're in a good place. Mm-hmm. But when you feel yourself in a negative rut in any area, to take some time, to find some time for gratitude, take some time to recharge your batteries, invigorate yourself. We know all the nuts and bolts, and it's easy to learn all the details of business in the sense that there's lots of stuff out there. But one of the biggest things that's changed in our lives in the last few years is how much we're putting into mindset. Mm-hmm. And so that's even one of the things that we're looking for in a coach right now. We're looking for another coach, and I think we've made our decision already, but pursuing a mindset coach in particular. And it's so important to reinvigorate, recharge. It spills into every area. And so what we've seen an improvement for my husband and I in our outlook, in how we, just having more positivity, mm-hmm. so huge. And I would say if you're stuck, get around people who have hope, who are pursuing things, seek them out, even if it's just on the internet, unfollow all of the negativity that you have. I mean it, unfollow. And that's big. So if I can recommend a book, is that okay?
Yes, please. Recommend books, recommend podcasts.
Read lots. But I'm I have Audible in my headset so much. I am blanking. The Miracle Morning.
Yes.
Seriously.
Live by it. All the books.
Unreal. And so there's so much that can spin off of that. But to me, it's like if a mom's struggling to just turn things around, and it doesn't have to be extravagant, but I just love it. It's so simple, the message in that book. It's not complicated, but just taking that time for yourself to recharge your batteries, to bring yourself and start visualizing what you're after, and just taking that time of calm in the mornings. It's got a lot of principles. So whether you're doing it in the morning or you're doing it at some point, just to take some time to recharge. And so I would 100% recommend that as that thing for moms that are struggling. If you've got little ones, like I said, mine are 4, 6, and 8. It's busy. And they're all home right now. They are all home.
Yes. But the thing is, just what you said, even though they're home, and I forgot this for a split second, I stopped doing my savers for maybe 2 or 3 days because I was I have to do all the things. All of a sudden, I just became it was too much. And I realized it was because I stopped doing those things. It's all the mindset. It's taking that moment to recharge your own brain. And the thing is, and a lot of things, but one of the things I love about the Miracle Morning and Hal Elrod is that he doesn't leave any room for excuses. You can do the Miracle Morning, you can do it for an hour, 2 hours, or you can do it for 5 minutes. You can do a 5-minute or 6-minute, 6-minute Miracle Morning, because you can take a minute and do every single thing. Even if it's a minute to do some jumping jacks, you've still done it. So no excuses. Yes, I love it. Well, thank you so much, Amanda, for coming on. Again, everyone, if you want to find Amanda, what is the easiest way that people can find you?
I guess this is one thing I don't have a real estate specific Instagram, but you can find me Amanda Bolan on Facebook.
Perfect.
I'm on there. You can give me a look up.
So if you want more information about Amanda's story, look her up on Facebook. I'll have the link in the bio. If you've loved what you heard from Amanda and from any of my other mamas, please rate and review, subscribe. Let me know what I'm doing, how I'm doing, and how I can best serve you. And again, thank you so much, Amanda, for coming on. And I am so grateful to all my listeners for listening in and learning with us. So grateful. Bye now.